Arena! Hey, Christian in the house with another Raid Shadow Legends video. And today, guys, we're gonna talk about something that is relatively new in the game, but that's going to make a total difference in the game development right now. It's something that was introduced to the game in the last few updates. We had the 10.0, and we're talking about them, the relics. These things out here that might change everything the way we have right now. So why not take a look at them, making a review of each one of the relics and the gemstones. Let's see. Let's start with the standard group of relics. We have two groups of relics. The standard one, these ones that we see up there, there are currently 11 of them, 4 rares, 3 epics, 2 legendaries and 2 mythicals. And there is also the Chimera group with almost the same number. Oh, exactly the same number. 2 mythicals, 2 legendaries, 3 epics and 4 rares. Relics. What's the difference between them? The way you craft. Well, while you're crafting them, the Chimera group can only be forged with the materials that you drop from the Chimera boss. These ones right here. And not only that, you still have chance of forging the standard group while trying to forge the Chimera ones. It's not 100%. The maximum you can have is 50%. So the other materials, the standard materials, we do not have a lot of them yet. Probably they will drop from another area, mostly from livearena. When livearena is implemented and all the areas of the game start giving us forge material for relics, we're gonna have more ways to forge, and probably we're gonna forge more standard than Chimera. Let's see how Plarium is going to implement it. But the goal here is not to teach you how to forge, but to review and make an analysis of each one of the relics and the gemstones. Let's start with the standard group. Volcardiac Hurt. The Volcardiac Hurt is the first mythical relic here. When plus 8, we're going to talk about them when they are plus 18. So the effect of this relic is the wearer places a 10% magma shield buff for 2 turns at the start of the battle. Also places a magma shield buff on the wearer for 2 turns whenever they lose 25% of the HP in a single hit. When level 18, the shield strength go from 10% to 20%. What's Magma Shield? Magma Shield is a new buff. I'm gonna put it on the screen. This buff, it works like a shield buff, but it can reflect part of the damage you receive. So right now you have 3 buffs of shield that you can stack. The gear shield, the skill shield, and now the relic shield, that is the magma shield. It's really interesting, but I don't think it's a crazy impactful one. Relic. It will give you a bigger shield if you're a tanky, that's interesting. And when you're about to die, because you received a big hit, not even about to die, a big hit, 25% or more of your HP, you're going to place another shield. So it's an interesting one. It gives you a lot of resistance and defensive stats. That's, I think, the most important thing about this relic. So how are we gonna hate it? I will put her as god potential. Bit higher because of the resistance, and the shield is not bad. But I don't think this relic as a crazy good one. Listen to me. First of all, there are no bad relics. Each one of them give you more stats than you have already. So all of them are good, but There are some that are better than the others because of the synergy and what they are able to do. So let's continue. Hallowed Hilt. This one, just by the basic stats, it's already really powerful. Because these base stats here, 24 more speed when level 18, it's incredibly strong. Just by the base stats that this relic gives, she's already top tier. Just because of that. But she also does more than that. Her effect, whenever the wearer heals an ally with an active skill, no passives are allowed, has a 25% of chance to place a favor buff on the ally for 1 turn. The favor buff is a new buff. How it works? The one that got favor deals 10% more damage and took 10% less damage. Really strong buff. When you have her at maximum level, you're gonna get 25% more chance, so this will be 50% of chance of putting the favor. So 24 more speed and the chance of putting favor make this relic really powerful to support champions. Really powerful. Just the base speed here already makes it top tier. So I will classify her as godlike. Just because of the base speed is already enough, but because of the favor also, it gives you extra power. So Hallowed with the other mythical from the standard group, S tier, very strong. Third one, Aspect of Cyroth. The Aspect of Cyroth give you defensive stats here, which is good, but not crazy good. The effect on this relic is what's interesting. When the wearer receives a fatal damage, reduces it by 50% of the turn meter and fully reduces the turn meter. The cooldown is 1 turn, and when it's maximum level, it will reduce 100%. So when you're having a fatal blow, you're gonna reduce fully the damage, and you're gonna take your turn meter instead of your life. That seems like a not crazy powerful relic at first sight, but there are 2 champions that are very interesting with this mechanic. Very interesting. The UDK, there is a tanky champion that as long as he stays alive, it's harder for your enemy team to do a perfect action without being delayed by the UDK presence. So this relic, making him alive for 1 more turn and keeping your team protected by 1 more turn and giving him the defensive stats like defense, resistance and accuracy, it's really good for him. But where this relic really shine is on a champion called Brotus.
Ladies and gentlemen,
when you have this relic on Brotus, the defensive stats doesn't matter for Brotus, but the effect here is crazy powerful because of Brotus' passive. When he's going to die by a fatal hit, you're gonna block the damage. You're gonna reduce Brotus' turn meter to 0, but he's going to survive because of his passive and the damage reduction here. So when he's not dying from a damage and he's surviving, his turn meter will be 0 because of the effect of the relic, but his passive will give him an instant extra turn. So you're going to get your extra turn out of that, and you're gonna have the cooldown reduced here because you're already having your turn. So this relic has a perfect synergy with Brotus. One synergy that is so strong that I would like to say that Rotos is probably the strongest champion in the game with this relic. Out of the champions we have right now. He becomes a really hard champion to deal with. So how am I going to rank this relic? SS Taya, crazy synergy. Because of one champion, that is Rotos. She has another good one that is UDK, but Rotos is where she really shines. For the other champions, she's good. She's good, but she's not crazy good. She might be annoying for yourself if you don't use her in the right mode. So have in mind that she's a dangerous relic to have if you don't have synergy with it. If you get it, put it on the Rotos or the UDK. You're gonna love it. Fourth one, Wand of Submission. The other one from the legendary standard group. The effect of this relic. The base stats are HP, 12 speed and accuracy. So not bad. Give you defensive stats and speed, which is good already. The effect, wearer has 25% when maximum level, 50% of chance to reflect, stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, petrification, and ship debuffs back to the producer. Guys, this is absolutely amazing. This relic here has speed on the base stats that she gives and 50% of chance of reflecting almost every CC in the game back to the producer. So, and it does not say here that it has cooldown, so it can proc many times, probably. Basically, this is twice as effective as deflection set, and oh my god, you don't need 4 pieces to proc it, just the relic itself. This is probably the strongest relic we saw right now. I think this will be one of the most used relics out there. One of the most important. I think many champions are going to use that. Many champions. She gives speed, which is good for every champion almost. HP and accuracy, relatively good. But the effect of the relic, it's god tier. It's beyond that. It has synergy with the meta. So I would like to say that Wand of Submission, out of all relics, is the strongest one I saw until now. She's SS tier, and I think she synergizes with almost every champion in the game. I think that's probably the strongest relic we have saw until now, and that we're gonna see. Let's check the others. The first epic one on the standard group, Gilded Dragonstone, gives defense, resistance and HP, not big amounts but decent. The effect, wearer's defense increases by 1% each time they receive damage, is stack up to 10%. When maximum level, gives more 10%. So it stacks up to 20%? Yeah. It doesn't say which one, if the maximum amount or the first amount that's going to be buffed. Let's presume that are both, that you're gonna get 2% and the maximum is 20%. Interesting, but not crazy good. I think that's not very impactful. Not very impactful relic. It will give you more defense. If you are defense nuker, that will give you more damage. If you're not a defensive nuker, it will give you more survivability, but not a game-changing skill or effect. So I'm going to rate that as not so relevant. The D tier. Demonic Effigy. The base stats are HP, resistance, and a little bit of speed. The speed is already good. Let's see the effect. Wearer's turn meat increases by 10% whenever one of their ally dies, and when fully leveled, more 10%, so 20%. Oh my god, it's the timely intervention mastery effect. Almost it. So I think it's a really good effect for revivers. It will give your reviver a faster turn to bring you back. It's decent, gives you HP, speed is an epic one. So I would say it's decent, but not crazy effective. Let's hate it as got potential, but not in the bottom of got potential. It can be used on PvP and PvE, so it's not mainly PvE. So let's put it this way. This one, the volcanic heart, I didn't say that, but she will be good for shield combos on the PvE content. It will stack shield faster. But let's continue. Golden elixir gives you attack and accuracy. Oh, bomb champions and HP. Okay, let's see the effect. Wearer is instantly healed by 10% when their HP drops below 50%. Okay, I presume that will not prevent death, that you will still be killed even healing, and it gives you attack and accuracy. So it might have synergy with some champions, but does not seem crazy. The effect when level up is more healing. Instead of 10%, it will be 20% when fully leveled up. I think it's interesting, but not so relevant. The base stats are good. It screams bomb champions attack based, attack and accuracy. So it would be interesting for bomb champions because of the base stats, but doesn't look like so relevant. So I'm going to put her as not so relevant, but in front of the magma, but in front of this other one. I think she's more relevant than the other one. Let's keep going. Unholy Grail. Everybody got these for free as they launched the relics. It gives attack, HP and critical damage. The base stats are already good. The effect. The wearer deals 2% more damage if under any debuffs. Decent, but not crazy. And will give you 6% more damage. Yes, 6% more damage. So 8% more damage if under any debuffs. Good base stats, critical damage, attack and HP, and can give you 8% more damage if you're a debuff. It seems decent because of the base stats, not because of the effect of the relic. I would say it's good, but until now it's the relic that I see that probably the worst one we got, but I still think she's better than the defense one. I'm going to put it on D-tier between these two. I think she's more important than this one. Let's keep going. Mask of Rage. The base stat that it gives, it's HP, defense and accuracy. The wearer effect. The wearers receive 5% less damage from enemies under provoke. This is very specific. The effect, more 10% damage reduction, so 15% less damage from provoked enemies. This is very specific. The stats in general are survivability stats. I think out of all relics that we saw, this is the most useless one that we saw. So I'm going to hang her at not so relevant, the worst one. Journal of Necrotos. Another rare one, gives HP, defense and resistance. Okay, let's see the effect. Wearer's heal and turn meat increase effects applied to allies, not the wearer itself, are boosted by 15%. Okay. The level up effect. Okay, 15% when fully leveled up. So the turn meat effects and heals applied to the allies when fully leveled up, it will be 30%. Oh my god. Journal of Necrotus is a really good relic for turn meat boost champions and healers. And if you do both, for both. So this is a rare relic with very impactful effect. She will bring more utility for your turn meat boost. So I would say this relic, it's very strong. It's very strong. It's a rare but very strong. And the last relic from the standard group, Rod of Blasphemy. Let's take a look at it. The base stats are HP, attack, and accuracy. The effect: wearers receive 2% less damage if under any debuffs. So it's a tanky relic for Go Second teams, probably. The effect: 6% when fully, more 6% damage reduction, so 8% less damage when having any debuff. I think is the opposite of the Holy Grail. This one gives you damage, this one gives you damage reduction, but I think it's more useless than the Unholy Grail. The Unholy Grail seems interesting. Rod of Blasphemy doesn't seem that strong. It is good for Go Second teams tanking, but not crazy good. So I will rank it here as not so relevant, but a little bit better than the Mask of Rage. So that was the standard group review of the relics and ranking. Let's go to the Chimera group. Let's start with the Stormcaller, the mythical one. The effects, the stats that it gives: 40% critical damage, oh my god, an amulet, 200 attack and 6 speed. The base stats it gives are really powerful. Just by the base stats here, she's already one of the top tier relics. Let's see the effect. Wearer has 20% of chance of placing a Storm Call buff on themselves whenever they land a critical hit. Okay. When fully leveled up, it gives you 80%, so it's 100%. When fully leveled up, it's 100% of chance of placing Storm Call. What does a Storm Call does? It's a new buff. So, Storm Call is a new buff that it can stack up to 5 times. Each time you stack it, it will give you 5% more damage. So you can have up to 25% more damage with 5 stacks. But when you get 5 stacks of Storm Call, your next hit is going to stun the enemy, and it's an unresistible stun and will consume all the 5 stacks of Storm Call, and you're gonna have 0 stacks. So you're gonna stockpile then again if you want more damage or if you want the stun. Seems like a powerful effect. If the fights go longer, it can be really strong. We don't know some things that we need access to the test server to check. That is, if you do an AoE when you have 5 Storm Calls, is going to stun everybody or just the first target? I presume that is everybody. And is this effect going to make you polymorph? We don't know yet, but I presume they will. So, just by the base stats, these relic gives, it's a red, the top tier one. And the Storm Call effect, it's a plus. That gives you a lot more. And as mythical relic, she has 4 spaces for gemstones, which makes it even more impactful. So I'm gonna rank this one as godlike, just behind the sword here, the mythical sword of the standard. Just because the mythical sword gives you 24 speed, and speed is so relevant right now. But they are almost the same level. If it was possible, I would rank them exactly the same. They are both godlike. They are both really godlike. Chronocube, the second mythical relic from the Chimera group. The base stats that it gives is HP, attack and defense, general stats. The effect. The wearer has a 50% of chance, when fully leveled up 100% of chance, to take 2 turns in a row. If this effect activates, the wearer skips the next turn, occurs only once per battle. Guys, this is a really specific effect, and it has a lot of potential. A lot of potential. For example, if you use Chronocube on a champion like Armand's, you can basically start with his A3, transform someone into ship. Then you're gonna have your second turn in a row, guaranteed. You can use the A3 and the A2, sorry, steal the turn meter of everybody. They probably won't have any more buffs because you used the A3. Then you're gonna lose your turn that you just stole the turn meter because of the effect of the Chronocube here, that it will skip your turn. And you're gonna be red with your skills again in your next turn. So not only Armans, there is a lot of champions that can do double effect turns that are really impactful. For example, Shuzen can do turn mid boost for everybody, then turn mid boost for a single champion, or even give a turn to a single champion, then get her turn back and turn mid boost everybody. This is insanely powerful. This Chronocube has the potential to create so many new strategies that it's unbelievably good. Champions like that are forgotten forever, like War Mother. You never saw a War Mother in the PvP, but if War Mother has Chronocube and she can land the bombs and detonate the bombs, my friends, War Mother is going to be next level bomb champion. This Chronocube, it has the potential of bringing so many champions to the meta that I think it's one of the most impactful relics out there. I think she's not only more impactful than the relic that take away your debuffs, that is one of submotion. I think that Chronocube is the second most impactful relic that I saw out there. But it's not going to be used by everybody. Just a few champions have synergy with it, but the possibilities it gives are amazing. Let's review it. I think this one is SS tier, just between these two. This one is only SS tier because of how strong Rotus can be with it, and that is very impactful. If it wasn't for that, I think this would drop for D tier. But let's keep it here because Roto is a very impactful champion. Let's keep going. The first legendary relic from the Chimera group, Gore Crescent. The base effects are attack, critical damage and speed. Very interesting. Just by the base stats here, is a red solid relic. Let's see the effect. Wearer's next attack after killing an enemy deals 20% more damage. When fully leveled up, more 25% here, no, more 30% here. So 50% more damage in the next hit. Guys, there is a lot of champions that with this relic can be amazing. George, for example, you kill a champion with the A3, then the A2 AoE is gonna be 50% stronger. Orion, Ieyasu, that he kills a champion with his A1, gets an extra turn, kills a champion with, gets an extra turn. All these champions that gets an extra turn after killing a champion with Gore Crescent will be a lot more powerful. And the base stats that it gives are perfect for attack nukers. And there's more, it's a legendary relic. So it has 3 socket spaces, 4 gemstones. And that's incredible. This is a really strong relic for nukers with extra turns after killing champions. I would rate this probably between these two. I love it. Let's keep going. Second legendary relic from the Chimera group, Rand of Uncreation. Very cool skin. The base stats: 96 accuracy, 51 resistance, and 6 speed. Really solid base stats. Like, it's a banner, half of a banner, and one glyph, 1 6-star glyph here. Very solid base stats. Let's see the effect. Wearer reduces the chance of debuff application, buff removal, or steal effects, turn meter reduction effects, and increase skill cooldown effects by 10%. And when fully leveled up, more 10%, so 20%. So if you have a skill that's going to remove, steal, increase turn meter, increase skill cooldown, it will have 20% of chance of failing. Oh my god, this is really strong. Really strong. 20% of chance of the enemy failing and give you fairly decent amount of stats. Many champions can use this. Many champions, even more on Gold Second teams. This is really powerful. Hand of Uncreation. Because, for example, a Warlord is going to lock your skills. It's 100% chance of Warlord skill doing it. But if the champion has a fully leveled up Hand of Uncreation, the Warlord skill, it will be only 80%. There will be 20% of chance of failing. The same for buff removal, turn meter reduction, and other effects. Oh my god. It has a lot of potential. A lot of potential. I will rank it as the first slot as a very strong item. A-tier Hand of Uncreation. And is a legendary with 3 slots for gemstones. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Let's go to the epics from the Chimera group. The first one, Scroll of the Unseen. The base stats here are really decent. Attack, critical damage, and speed. Everything a nuker, attack-based nuker needs. So just by the base stats, it seems already decent. Already decent. Let's see the effects. The wearer's damage increases by 1% when fully leveled up, 6% each time any other champion takes a turn when the wearer is under Veil or Perfect Veil buffs. Stack up to 30% bonus reset after the wearer takes a turn. So if you put Veil or Perfect Veil on a nuker and you have your opponents having 5 turns in front of your nuker and he has Veil or Perfect Veil in it, it will give you 30% more damage. And a red gives you really good base stats for nukers. It's perfect for nukers like Handafrom that already have Veil on their kit, or to synergize with some champions that already put Veil, like Glaycord or Duchess, and then many others that now have Veil on their kits that are good supports, and the nuker can have a Scroll of the Unseen. But it's very situational, very situational. I will rank it like got potential. I think the first slot of the B tier got potential. It can be used, it can be impactful, and it can also be used on PvP nukers. The Hydra, for example, your rotation, the 4 Hydra heads have turned before your nuker, that is, for example, Yannica, that uses Veil. She will give you 25% more damage. I think it's a very impactful potential if used right, and the very good base stats. It has potential. Let's keep going. The second Chimera group epic relic, Orb of Transfixion. The base stats are HP, accuracy and speed, decent. Already have speed and accuracy, decent. Let's see the effect. Wearer has a 10% chance when fully leveled up, more 25, so 35% chance to steal one random buff when attacking a target. This effect cannot be resisted. Occurs once per skill. It's interesting, has potential. Is interesting. The base stars are not bad. And has 2 sockets for gemstones in it. So Orb of Transfixion can help you to steal buffs. 35% when full leveled up. It is interesting but not crazy impactful. I would say it is somehow on got potential but not so impactful. I think it will be around here. B tier. Last epic relic from the Chimera group, Arenareset. The base stats are attack, accuracy and HP. Okay, another bomb champion base stats here. It looks like. Let's see the effect. The wearer's damage increased by 1% when fully leveled up, more 5%, 6% each time they place a debuff. Is taxed up to 30%. Oh my god. There are some nukers here that will love these. There are some nukers that, oh my god, Gizmak with more 30% damage. Oh my god. And there are a lot more. He just came into my head, but there are a lot more nukers that are debuffers nowadays. So this is really good, and it also has a lot of PvE potential. Oh my god, this will be fully stacked on the PvE content almost all the time. So very, very impactful for PvE, and still a lot of potential for PvP. So Arenareset. Let me rank it as got potential, the top tier. It can even be here as very strong in the bottom part. I think I will rank it A tier. Let's go. Rare relics from the Chimera group. The first one, Malefic Talon. The bases are critical damage, HP and attack. Already really good base stats, really good. It's like another amulet and half of a ring here, so it's interesting. Let's see the effect. Wearer has 20% chance to deal 10% more damage when attacked. When fully leveled up, more 30%. So The 30% is from the extra damage chance. So it has 50% of chance of dealing 10% more damage. Interesting. She has really good base stats here, but the effect can give you the chance half when fully leveled up of giving 10% more damage. Useful, better than nothing, but not crazy good. Let's rank it as not so relevant, but is the top tier of the soul, not so relevant until now. And it can be, I think, on the B tier in the last spot also. But let's put it on the D tier. Not a bad one. There is no bad relics, but there are ones that are better than the others. Second relic from the rare group of the Chimera. Diadem of Undeath. The base stats are defensive stats, defense, HP, and resistance. The effect is, whereas defense increased by 1% when fully leveled up, 6% for each ally under ally protection buff placed by them. So it's a very specific effect. The champions that put ally protection will have more defense if they are using Diadem of the Undeath. The relevance of that, I think, is very low, but it is still better than this mask here. So I think I will put it between the wand and the mask here. So D tier not so relevant. Let's go for the Tempus Sanguinis, the third relic from the Chimera group. It's a hourglass. The base stats are HP, accuracy, and defense decent. Let's see the effect. Whereas turn meter reduction effects are boosted by 15% when fully leveled up, more 15 here, so 30%. Whereas turn meter reduction effects are boosted by 30%. So for example, if you're speeding up your team with Lazarius, that you give your team 20% more turn meat and takes away of the enemy 20% of the turn meat, it will be 30% of the turn meat. Oh my god, it has potential but not crazy. It will give you the champions that reduce the turn meat of the enemy a little bit more reduction. Interesting but not crazy good. It's a rare, so it has a little bit more potential than the others here. I think I will put it on the top of the D rank, and I will remove this for the top of the B rank. I think it's more fair. And the last one, Molten Death Bell. The base stats are accuracy, a banner worth of accuracy, defense and HP, decent base stats. The effects, whereas turn meat increases by 10% when fully leveled up, more 10%, 20% when applying stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, petrification, and cheap debuffs on enemies, and occurs only once per turn. This is impactful. It will make your debuffer crowd control champion cycle fast through his turns. This one has a lot of potential. I like it. I think between these rares, I think it's the most powerful one that we saw on this group. I think it's got potential here. It's only behind the banner of the unseen. Let's put it up there. So this is the tier list for the relics. that we have until now, we have 3 SS level. One of them is only here because of the synergy it has with Rutus. If it wasn't for that, it would be not so relevant. But because of the synergy with Rutus, and that's a crazy synergy session here, she's up there. The other 2 are really strong. Then we have the godlike ones. All of them are really powerful. The base stats and the effects both are really strong, and they are very powerful because of the amount of slots they have. Then we got the very strong ones, 3 of them. Really good effects, can be game changing in some battles. The beta that got potential, they give you good effects, and you can take advantage of them. We have nothing here on C-tier, main use of on PvE for the relics itself, but we will have on the gemstones that are right here. And the not so relevant, they are not weak. Understand me right. They are not weak, they are good. But they are not as good as the other ones we have right now. But that's a first review. And there are champions that can take advantage of the relics effects a lot more than others. So for example, there is a champion that could take advantage of this defense power up of this relic here and be a lot strong with the synergy with this champion. At first sight, I didn't saw that happening, but it can happen. It can happen. So for this one I already saw, and I'm telling you, it's really strong, and it's already tested. For this one, we need to take a look closer to some champions, and the same for all other relics. There will be crazy interaction. This one, I think it will be the most impactful one, the Chrono Cube, for new strategies. The amount of possibility it gives are unbelievable high. This mythical relic, it will be amazing, and it has 4 slots for gemstones. Guys, oh my god, Chrono Cube, come to daddy. And the one here, almost everybody will wish it in many champions. This is the counter to the polymorph. So not only polymorph, every crown controller, this is gonna be really impactful. So that's the first tier list for relics, the ones we got right now. I will give you another tier list now for the gemstones. Take a look and wait for the next video. It's going to be a tier list for the gemstones. See you. And as always, if you like this kind of content, do not forget to and as always, remember, it's all about arena.